Mainly there's a pre-treatment program that simply says that they want to make sure whatever's coming into a wastewater treatment plant doesn't hurt the plant. And the best way to take care of that is to make sure the businesses, when they give their processed discharge, that doesn't contain anything that will hurt the plant. So we ask them to treat the stuff before they send it to us. Ours is to go out there and make sure they're doing it. On a regular day, if I'm really going to be out in the field a lot, my favorite line when I walk into a restaurant, my joy in life is inspecting grease traps. I do a lot of grease traps and a lot of grease interceptors. I also do some inspecting of businesses. We have 11 permittees, which means that the City of Richland Pre-Treatment Coordinator Toby Billings writes permits for these different companies, and they have to go by the permit, and mine is to go out there and do the sampling and then inspect and make sure they're in compliance with their permits. But the pre-treatment program, which is mandated by the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and then administered by the Washington Department of Ecology, they have decided, they have criteria what determines what person should be permitted. Three of the primary bases are if a person or if a facility discharges 25,000 gallons per day, then we may have to permit them. Also, if they may have some kind of chemical or pollutant that might hurt the plant, or if they discharge 5% of the hydraulic loading of a plant is what it is. And so that's what qualifies them to be permitted. But also we're starting to do something at the City of Richland. As a pre-treatment program, we're responsible to know every type of business in the City of Richland. Our ordinance says if you discharge to the City of Richland sewer system, you need to go by the ordinance. And so we go out there and we try to find out what's out there. We need to kind of gain a general knowledge of them and do inspections of them also. And we're trying to pick up on that this year and get into different types of businesses. We have the 11 permittees, which I'm responsible for sampling at least once a year. Today I went out there, I set up a sampler, and what we have is a sampler that we put into their manhole, and what it is, their wastewater coming from their building, from their process, not their sewer water. Not concerned about that. I'm concerned about the processed water. I took samples of that, set it up today. I will leave it out there for 24 hours, go back tomorrow, and then I'll bring it back. I will send samples to our lab here at our plant, who would analyze for like BODs, TSSs. We have a contract lab that would analyze for like the metals, priority pollutants, and all that. So basically, we're analyzing their wastewater, which is required by the pre-treatment program, by our permit here at the plant. It says that we're responsible for doing that. Our biggest concern about a grease interceptor or a grease trap is that it is doing its job and that it is getting cleaned properly and on a regular basis and all that. So what I checked for is to see how full of grease it was. And you were with me and you found, basically found that just a minimal amount of grease. So we knew we were getting good gray water. There was grease on the top, but all that water below that was gray water, didn't have a lot of grease and all that, and that's what's discharged to the city sewer. Don't want the grease in the main lines of the city sewer because it could clog them up. We have a maintenance crew, which is a fine group of guys who, Vern McGraw is the supervisor. They're out there all the time making sure that we have free flow to the plant. But we don't want anything like grease or anything clogging up our lines, is what it is. So I'm just checking to make sure grease interceptor is in place, they clean on a regular basis, and that it's working. What I love about my job is I do like being out in the open. I do like dealing with people, and my whole theory in life is I'd rather make you happy than to make you sad. And so when we go into a business, if there's a problem there, no problem, we'll go ahead and get it resolved. And I love to walk away and know they're smiling and thinking, man, he said we did a good job, or he said we did really good on our inspection on that. I love that feeling because I know that they're satisfied, the city's satisfied, and that's a portion of my job I really do enjoy. Yeah.
That's called a yes, and you're one of the few restaurants that can say that. Right?
I have 5 children, 6 grandchildren, and they're the joys of my life. Absolutely enjoy my family. My wife and I, again, like I said, going on 32 years, grandkids, 4 grandboys, 1 granddaughter. I have 4 daughters and 1 son is what I have, yeah. I'm very active in church. I love fishing. And I have to say this, is I'm one of those guys who just try to live a good, decent, best godly life I possibly can. No, I don't do it perfect, but he deserves me to do the best that I can and try to raise my children the same way. So I'm active in church. And again, like I said, enjoy fishing. A lot of visiting the grandchildren on the west side. My wife and I go across that pass. We don't care if it's wintertime. We may go 2 or 3 times in a month. Yeah, so that's our biggest joy also is our grandchildren. Hi, my name is Doug Bullock, and I'm the pre-treatment inspector for the City of Richland wastewater treatment plant. And I am Richland.